Alrighty, we are live. Hey, yes. All right, so I'm here with another episode of Floto. This is episode 5. I'm here with Miriam.
Yes.
This time, the artist, and
Yes.
we're going to be talking about the arts and what to kind of add to this community a little bit, and a little special thing for everyone who is watching this episode in particular. And I will be posting more about it. But this episode is sponsored by Cravens Comics, and they wanted to celebrate by doing a little giveaway. So over there we have a Shining Fates box and some T-shirts and some cards for opening. Nothing touched, nothing opened, everything freshly sealed. From them. So so the way that'll work is just comment lucky pull in the comments below, and I'll see if we pick you out, and if you get can get the box or anything, because that box over there is valued at $70. So that's pretty crazy. And you can get some you can get some good stuff out of that box. I can attest from opening cards a lot. So
I wish I could comment. Like that's some dope stuff. I'm watching from over here. Hey.
Yeah. Oh, I know a little bit. I'm a little bit of a nerd, or mostly a nerd. Don't play Pokemon and all that. So yes, Pikachu. Yes. So let's hit it up with the first question. My first question, I guess, to you will be, I kind of wanted to make this talk a little bit more about what the heck we're going to add, what I want to add, and what type of a different vibe to add to kind of Cambridge. Because I'm hearing some things I hear things that the community agrees with, and some things the community doesn't agree with. Things from projects that the city is doing, or stuff like that. But I'm gonna say this: arts. You're an artful person, artful taste, and you got a lot. And you were talking a little bit about some of the collabs you were doing, some of the stuff you got out. You know what? Let's start off with that.
Yes. All right, guys. Now I need to let y'all know, like, I've been in Cambridge for a couple of years now, and I've seen how things are, the mindsets, and especially me coming from New York, I was like, wow, like it's a whole different atmosphere. So I pretty much was always inspired with art, and I was like, you know what? I gotta get ahead and do it. A lot of people were like, Miriam, they saw me on Instagram. They're like, Miriam, you need to go ahead and share your artwork. And next thing you know, people started seeing me and started gravitating to me. And they're like, all right, let's go ahead and start collabing. But this year is dope because I actually gonna be collabing with Deadstock. We actually have T-shirts, new graphic tees that we actually did to honor Black History Month, and as well as Women's History Month as well. So we got a shout out to the ladies. So we actually started doing some for Harriet Tubman, Gloria Richardson. There's a lot of Cambridge, women queen leaders that I want to inspire, and actually have it where we can actually wear the gear, but it's something that's going to be actually given back. So those who actually purchase the shirts and stuff, it's actually going to give back to Black Girls Code. And that's a dope organization where others, like the young girls that's coming up, have opportunities, especially girls of color, have opportunities to get ahead and do like STEM technology spaces. So it's really a dope situation where art is actually given back. So I'm excited for that, for Deadstock and me to collaborate. It's actually in stores now at Deadstock's at Ocean City outlets, and as well as Salisbury. So if you're in Salisbury and Ocean City, go ahead and stop at Deadstock and get yourself a shirt and do something for a cause, but also pay homage.
Yes. Okay. I like hearing that. In fact, when you started talking about opportunities a little bit, I'm sitting here like, oh, that kind of got me going, because I was thinking about what was I about to say? I talked all the time with some buddies in like a chat we were having about opportunities. I was thinking back a little bit. I'm sitting here like, art is something that comes in all ways, comes in all periods of time, and it doesn't really expire. It kind of always has like a different meaning sometimes every time you discover something new about it. And I'm thinking about your art. What are some of the feelings that you're hoping that inspire people when you make your art?
That not to let nobody put you in a box. You know what I'm saying? Like with art, when I create the art, it's more so is to have like a voice. And when I started doing my art here, especially with the murals in Cambridge, I shook it up a little bit, because I wanted them to see like it's more than just the history that's here in Cambridge. But we have us young women and young men out here with all these gifts. And I know it's great to like pay homage to the past, but what about right now? So that's where I stand at. I'm pretty much that voice to like, look, there's history in the making. So
Yeah.
that's where I'm at.
I kind of, I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I know I'm also sitting here fiddling in my brain about what the heck I'm supposed to say next. But I guess my main point was mostly that, art really does inspire, and
It
it's,
does.
it is everywhere. And a lot of us don't really, take to it. They don't think of it
No.
too much as an option, as like
Nah.
a good financial stable thing. Everyone says the starving artist, not exactly always
Yeah.
living, probably like check to check or whatever,
Yeah.
just having to do other things other than art. But, we're in a time period now where, really you can just start posting and get
Yeah.
money almost instantaneously now when you think about it.
Yeah.
Because I think back a little bit, and this is what I was gonna talk about with when I was in my little group chats. We were talking about how the opportunities have changed.
Yeah.
Like we think back a little bit. A lot of us, of color, we kind of thought back a little bit.
You
And
know.
we were just thinking like, how crazy it is to think that way back when slavery was a thing, like the people who had control were white people and stuff like that, not really giving the black people opportunities because they wanted to keep them at a certain level.
Yeah.
And we think back to that. We were thinking about how today we think like the ghettos, like that still is kind of like a little bit of the mindset, but it's not the mindset that everyone's trying to go
Exactly.
for.
Yeah.
When we think back to the ancestors, and they were fighting for equal opportunities.
Pretty much for equality.
Yeah, like we
Yep.
thought we were thinking a little bit like like the arts they were doing, like whether it was
Yeah.
writing books and singing
Yeah.
their songs, it was
Yeah.
because they were trying to convey this emotion to everyone.
That's
It
true.
wasn't just them sitting here trying to cope with things or figure
Exactly.
things out. It was kind of like their escape. And we
Yeah.
think back a little bit. I know. Let me tie this all together a little bit. Is that in the music world and the art world that you come from. You said you were in the projects of New York. Is
Oh,
that
yes.
was
Stapleton.
your escape? I guess I'm gonna assume art was your escape. And then guess what? Now it created something bigger. You're doing more things with it, and it's
Yeah.
kind of crazy when you
Yeah.
think about it. So I guess what I was gonna try to lean off of that one was me thinking about that. I'm like, not a lot of people really think about when we think back in the past that the ancestors fought for the stage we're in now. A lot of them like to
Yeah.
say, we think back, we're like, oh yeah, rights on the bus or education, but it was a
deeper.
bigger message.
It was
Yeah.
deeper, way
Yeah,
deeper.
it was-
yeah.
For what we're doing now, like being able to like actually have the same opportunities to like do the same art and have the
Yep.
same devices that everyone else gets to use in
Exactly.
this country, which is kind of a little crazy. I know I ran off on that tangent a little bit. Mostly I want to talk about that is because like it's not about a lot of people like to say it's the color of our skin
Color of our skin,
sometimes,
yeah.
and it's like that's kind of what our ancestors fought for not to happen anymore, which
Yeah.
to an extent, sure, we have some slip ups.
Yeah.
Not everyone's going to be about it, but for
Yeah.
the general consensus, it's kind of that's what it is now.
Yeah.
You go out on the internet, you post a music video, you can possibly make millions.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
what you do, post on Instagram.
That's true.
It's
I mean,
that's what it do.
it's definitely dope, but the only thing I can say to that is like, for instance, like TikTok. You know what I'm saying? A
Yeah.
lot of those who are not of color, like they kind of get like more money because of their white privilege. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
those black talented, artists that's out there, whether it's dancing, music, sometimes others can take from them, and it's like that's where I feel like us people of brown and me being a Boricua, Puerto Rican, is like it would be dope for those of color kind of have their own thing, their own app, their own, YouTube. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, it's dope
Yeah.
that this stuff is out there, but it's not as easy as we think it may be, because in the end, like, a lot of stuff is not done fairly all the time. So that's where, we fit in, where we actually explain, like, where we need to shine light to those who really need to be seen. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's dope that you even do that right now, where you're shining lights for those,
Yeah,
dope.
just keeping it real here. Just thinking about it, I'm like, I kind of want to jump back and forth a little bit because I know you hit some pretty
Yeah.
hard hitting facts there a little bit. Thinking about how
Yeah.
the internet. Yes, it may not be almost always as balanced, but for the most part, we still can have that same opportunity. It's not like we may not obviously get exactly all the fame and riches, but in a certain field, we still have it. Like I know I'm gonna say my example. Like a lot of us like to think, it's mostly like rapping. You
Yeah.
know, like in our scene, it's like rapping and all that. But I'm thinking, like there's more things around it. I
there's
know
more
there's
things.
a little bit of a stigma sometimes. Hopefully this stream doesn't get too crazy, but there's a little bit of a stigma for certain we're still still learning things for certain colors to be doing certain things. Like I'm gonna say it right here right now. I do enjoy heavy metal
Yeah, I think
things like Arc Spire and what was the other people that I was listening to? Well, I know I'm gonna list some classics like Bullet for My Valentine and all them people.
Yeah.
Like it's kind of strange because you see that and you kind of think in your head that there's a certain look to that with the whole death metal scene or emo scene, but it's like everyone's into it for the most part. Sure, you might say there's not too much in certain areas, but it's up to you to really go for it.
It's up to you.
Yeah, there's not, don't sit there and say, oh, well, there's not enough of this when you could go out and do it, really. That's why, making the shows, like, there's not too much shows that are around here that are like this, streamed with video and I'm not going to say fancy lights, but with, the type of vibe that I'm trying to go for. But
it's just that's your gift that you're expressing, though. And that right there is important. That's like, to me, people see art as a form of like just a painting, but sometimes I feel like your art is your gift inside you that you are creating and unrevealing. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is just like how you are right now and how you're trying to share light. And that right there is like art in itself.
Yeah, which is amazing when I think about it, because I'm like, I kind of want to shine on it a little more. I personally think that in this area, with a lot of the performances that happen here, because I would say we're a pretty music centric area. There's a lot of people who are rappers or country artists or like me. I guess I'll shout out our little band. We're a death metal band.
Hey,
There's some death metal bands out here a little bit. Yeah.
Dope.
I kind of wanted to say this mostly. I want to give the city this. We should go for more of the art side to kind of bring in more people versus
You're right.
we're too, well, I'm not gonna say we're too focused, but the city's a little more focused on being a retirement village.
And I really respect that they actually also trying to put that culture with the food culture coming here, because that's something that's actually going to be progressing too with the 411 and everything. But my main thing is that just like they invest in that with that building, it's the same thing they do with the arts. There needs to be more investment with the art and culture, because in the end that does gravitate for more people. But the thing is, it's going to take people here to want to change. To be more than a retirement place or just for the the elderly out here or the the older ones. What about us young ones? So that way they don't have to feel like they have to move somewhere in order to conquer what they want to do with their artistry, whether it's music or video, whatever all that is. It's like they need to create opportunities for the young ones here, so that way they can actually go forth with that art culture, because art is everywhere in other areas, and it needs to be more like boost up here.
Yeah, because I will say, because a lot of us like to say there's a store around here is RAR. A lot of people know what that area is, and it does bring in a crowd. But it's like that's one scope. That's like that's still the food culture. You need something for the arts. Like there are sports too, but I mean, I guess sports in school is pretty crazy. But I will say, they still do things around here. I don't want to go, but mostly the arts. But there's really nothing for the arts. If I'm being honest.
As much. It's kind of dope. Like I actually went to Baltimore, Maryland, when it comes to like the graffiti alley. It'd be dope to have something over here for the youth, where instead of them going off with different things, they can actually kind of like do what they want to do here, and do it artistically. You know what I'm saying? It could be really dope if they had like an art town out here, and man, that'd be amazing. Imagine having like an art building where one with photography room and then the other one's with painting, the other one is with something else. Like that would be amazing.
I know a lot of people will probably think about and say DCA, which is Dorchester Center of the Arts down here. But they do amazing work.
They're amazing. They are
great down there. But there's one thing that isn't exact. I'm not going to say isn't prevalent, because they are a good building, and I'm pretty sure that they are, and they are awesome people because I have worked with them. But
they are amazing.
it's not for, because when I say arts, it needs to be like for all arts, like
Yeah.
theater, music,
Exactly,
performances.
performance.
That building is great for showing off your art, but it's
Yeah.
not exactly the best for if you're trying to do a music performance. 'Cause,
Yeah.
there's like a lot of soundproofing and like different stage things that you
Yeah.
gotta work with, and
Yeah.
a lot of people will say, I forgot what the 401 building.
Yeah.
That one that has the stage in it. A lot of people
Yeah.
say, that's a good one too, but a lot of people like to use that for like churches or all this
Yeah.
other stuff. It's not exactly designed for the arts. So having
Yeah.
something that's just for
For
the
the
arts.
arts, and actually something that it
Yeah.
won't be so even. One thing I noticed that was always like something going on is with like, okay, is being charged. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it would be dope to even have something where those youth come out there and kind of create and do what they do with their gifts, but they don't have to be charged so much just to do their gifts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like to have someone really invest in the arts, that would be a game changer for Cambridge if it was
Yeah.
really deeply invested.
Yeah, because a lot of people, like you did the road mural.
Yeah, the
on
Black
on
Lives Matter
thing.
mural
Yeah,
on
which
Ray Street.
a lot of people came and looked at, and it was headline. It was
Yeah.
big news. Like it was arts. It was something that brought people here.
Yeah,
you know,
community all together.
like it could be enjoyed. Like even with the strain of certain things, like you could just
Yeah.
kind of just go out and look at it. Really,
Exactly.
You didn't like have to have certain open hours or this other stuff. You
Yeah.
know, that's kind of what the arts is. There
Yeah.
is no time frame. You can just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And with the internet, yes, that is the best part about it, but experiencing it here, bringing it here for people to see
it.
and do,
Yeah.
it's different. Like
That's
in my
true.
last episode, I had my two guests. They were still in high school, and they said that this is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say they didn't know this was here. I don't know if they did or didn't, but I'm pretty sure they saw the building. But
Yeah.
they said that the setup was pretty cool because
Yeah.
this setup, you don't really see it too often
Yeah.
in various other areas, and they were
Yeah.
like, "That's pretty crazy." And then afterward, the interview was done. He said, "Hey, I would like to do something here," and I said, "Yep,
See?
because it's community
It's
out
community
here."
and it's
Yeah.
out here. But that's the thing. A lot of the youth out here don't really know like the jewels that's out here that can be
Yeah.
used as a resource because every time they're in a situation where they're in school, it's like they're taught to come out of Cambridge.
Yeah.
But how about we embrace Cambridge inside? So how about we
Yeah.
start learning how to tell the kids, look, you like radio, this is going on. There's a studio over here. This is going on with this. It's just
Yeah.
showing them the opportunities out here, and that would really like be a huge blessing for
Yeah,
the whole
because
thing.
I will say, I will like. Yes, it's great to like leave and probably to figure things out, but you're at a huge disadvantage because
Yeah.
everyone there possibly grew up there and they
Yeah.
already know the ins and outs.
Yeah.
That's kind of that I guess big city struggle is because they were already in the system, so they already know how it works. And then you
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
have somebody from our area just kind of goes
Yeah.
to it and they're just like, I didn't expect any of this.
That's
Not
true.
nobody, because a
That's
lot of people
true.
say here in Cambridge, a lot more people are real around here.
Yeah.
It's not like you're
Yeah.
gonna get somebody who's just in it for a game or
Again,
something.
yeah, exactly.
So-
That's so true. But one thing I can definitely want to share, especially when it comes to arts, is that they need to have opportunities, and especially those who are like getting in their gift. Sometimes they might not have 5 years experience,
Yeah.
but it's something that it could be so amazing that if they had the opportunity just to even share their craft, like that can really shine light. But when we sit here and just always gotta use like, okay, I'm gonna have this board and I'm gonna see which ones we're gonna pick, but they might not have the same vision that the community has. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like it's sometimes a challenge at times that I notice too is that sometimes the opportunities that's here, they always choose the same people over and over and over again. But how about we choose those who never had an opportunity? You know what I'm saying? When it
Yeah.
comes to doing a mural or some type of, art, opportunity. That would be dope if they
Yeah,
just
'cause-
start thinking outside the box and for change.
Yeah, well, I mean, around here, I am told, by some of my friends out and around, they say, around here, it is kind of a little more old-fashioned. They don't
Yeah.
like when new things kind of come around. Like, I worked on some things around here, and when something came out, that thing came out, there was a ton of complaints about it.
Yeah.
Did not like it. I was like, good Lord, this sucks. Don't like it at all.
Yeah.
But had to work through it, and now it's norm. Now it's
Yeah.
the normal place, commonplace now, and
Yeah.
still working on some things, but the people who are helping me out with it are supportive still of it.
Yeah.
And I was real glad that they were, which
That's good.
Which we go back to, I guess that schooling system. They're not supported about it,
It's
not at
supportive.
all.
But right there, I can just from my own understanding, that I know when I started this art thing, started sharing my gift more, I noticed that some of those did support and some of those like really didn't. And even to this day, I will get support, but it's like I got to be my own advocate for my craft, because it's a change. It's different. I gravitate to music, hip hop. I love art when it comes to like pop art. I love visual fine art. I love all of that. So it's like, even when I did the mural that was right down the street from Washington Street on a store, like I paid homage to Jay-Z as well as Emory Jones, and kind of like did something different that you don't never see in Cambridge.
Yeah.
So it was good things being said, but then it was also bad things being said. But like overall, I'm gonna still keep creating while everybody's still deciding whether that's good or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's where we all fall at, is to just keep on like being an advocate for those to, if you are about that, continue to keep sharing that craft.
Yeah, because it's like it is hard out here. A lot of people will also say, well, that there's I literally almost forgot the name of the school, DCTC, which I came from, and I will say, not the strongest. Well, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, not the strongest, at least in my area, which was the video area.
Yeah.
It was very basic, which is good, to let people come into it, but it wasn't exactly, in my opinion, exciting. We weren't looking at the modern.
That's true.
We were like going back to the past and figuring things out. Which the past influences modern. But it would be nice to see modern and see how it's
influence the future.
Yeah,
pretty much. Like definitely, I actually like that.
Yeah, because like it's good to like watch the classic movies of where this shot came from or that shot came from. But for the most part nowadays, we're kind of shooting things on phones, and we got POV cams, and even with this simple little setup, sure, it's like a basic type of ordeal, but I can like change it or have freedoms with whatever I want to do with it, type of thing. There is like no big person saying, hey, you can't have this shot like this or that. It's kind of just me, which a lot of the areas I know I'm gonna go back, because I always I tell the stories multiple times, I think, on this stream so far, which was had a teacher from DCTC. One teacher was really supportive, liked what I did, always challenged me to do something better with it. Dope. He didn't like say, oh, well, you're done, because, but I will say we did have a relationship a little bit more because of someone else pointing me to this teacher, pointing me to DCTC because I was so good at what I was doing. Yeah. And he was like, oh, yeah, you're good, but you can be better and all this other stuff. Keep pushing things on me. But then the other year came around and this teacher wasn't so great. And I was like,
I can relate to that.
Yeah, and it was painful, dragging my teeth. It wasn't like, so, around here, the normal problem would be, it's behavior. The kid is like, he's checking out and just being rude to be rude. Yeah. This time, it was a different thing, and they didn't know how to handle it because he knew everything. Yeah. He's not causing an issue with it, but it's like, like I will say, wasn't the best student either. I wasn't like, I wasn't sitting here being like all on my P's and Q's. Sometimes I did make it hard on the teacher because they were making it hard on me.
Making it harder,
Because, that's how human relations
you know how it goes.
So,
I definitely can agree with that, because I remember when I was in school and I remember, in New York, you see art everywhere. You see like everything is amazing, and you see like in the Big Apple, you feel like you can make it anywhere. So once I moved down here with my family, my mother and my father, they just wanted to have this, much more slower area. And I remember going to Saints and St. Michael's, and I remember when my guidance counselor told me that when I told her, I said, what do you want to be when you grow up? We had like one of those meetings. What do you want to be when you grow up? I'm gonna be an artist. And she literally told me that it's not a career. And I remember when it broke my heart. I was like, what? And ever since then, I was like, I can't believe someone told me that. So it's like...
Yeah, because you had to choose off of a list.
You have to choose off the list. You have to do, like, look, this is better, but art, no. Like, but that's not true. Like, if you look at life now, everything is evolved around art.
Yeah, it's like, it's emotions. Like, I will say, a lot of us like to go back to the old school like mindset. A lot of us like to, a lot of people I am hanging around or they're talking to me, a certain side are saying, you need like a college education. Yes, which to an extent I could say is, probably needed for certain things, but if you're out there just making art, like I'm doing this, I'm perfectly content. And I'm gonna say it, I did go to a little bit of college, but I didn't finish it. So it was, there's that, but and I'm still growing, still making bigger and better connections and figuring things out. But it's like I didn't really follow the norm. They say go to college, get your degree, and then you're all set. I'm slowly realizing, hey, I'm connecting with different people. I'm doing the arts. It's like
see, that's important.
Yeah, because like in my last episode, the guest, he agreed with me. That was Brian. He agreed, a little bit on the fact of, like you don't really need too much college, at least nowadays, at least in my opinion. It's mostly for social networking. It's easier that way because you're all in the same thing. Yeah.
Like I actually agree with you. I'm also a college dropout.
Oh yeah.
Like Kanye.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yes.
But pretty much like I can say one thing just from my own experience is that even though I didn't graduate college and everything, like a lot of positions that I were in, even though I didn't have the degrees, it was like due to my ideas put me in the positions that I am in today. So it's like the main thing is that you can have the skill. I mean, there's multiple videographers, radio stations, but if you don't have the ideas and you don't keep, being inspired and then also connecting with those with that same mentality of inspiring and trying things though, because there are times where we're going to fail sometimes and that's okay. Like that's one thing I definitely want to share here is that it's okay where there are times where you're not going to always win everything or win every opportunity. But the main thing is that you keep trying and you keep trying and keep getting greater. Like, even though someone can say, oh, look at your resume, that's so dope, you did all that. Like, you're already successful. But like, nah, I don't feel like it. I feel like I'm always uncomfortable because I feel like I could do better. I could do greater. So it's like I'm my own competition. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way to think about it,
Because I will say, because you do some community works around here. I don't know if I don't know. I heard from somewhere that you help out with Boys and Girls Club. I think.
I'm actually the club coordinator for BGC. I'm actually the one that kind of helps like connect everything.
Okay.
And I definitely work with the youth there. There's a lot of youth that are so gifted and talented, and the issue here in Cambridge is more so of the mindset. Some people feel like it's just if we're out the hood, everything changes. But if you still have that mindset of not trying to progress and break that generational, to me, I call it generational curses. Like, if we can't keep doing that same cycle, you know what I'm saying? We know there's certain things that we couldn't control in our lives. But if you know that you have a dream and you feel like you just know I can do this, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I fall in. I try to kind of spark the lights for the kids.
I will say, I do believe in that one.
Yes.
Because I will say, that's kind of why I started the show, is hopefully as an archive, people will share it around. And to hopefully these people and the youth of the area, just to see, like, even if they don't watch maybe the full obvious bits of it, that's why I have the clips version, but hopefully they'll be like, okay, well, I see this person, and hopefully if I can get more people that people are around, it can hopefully change their mindset and they can see things, because like we all could like talk to everyone like one-on-one, but it's kind of hard to really get all the information out. It's because I would assume in your area with Boys and Girls Club that there are probably some things that you wish you could do but probably couldn't, I guess. So that's kind of hopefully why this show, hopefully you share it with all of your peers and everyone that you know that they hear now your voice and they understand where you're coming from.
They know where I come from, because I was one of those kids. I was from the hood, and like, you ain't supposed to make it this far, Miriam, and I know everybody want to be like always on smiles and have that cover up, but it's like, let's speak it real. The only reason why I love art so much because art saved my life. So I share that all the time and be an advocate of that and let others know, like, whatever your gifts is, I don't care. Anybody tell you cannot do that, whether it's your family or even your friends. Like, those are not, like, ignore the noise. Just continue to keep that craft. And seeing this here that you're actually shining light to is so important. And, like this is so dope. Like, I'm super proud to be a part of the show. Like, it's so dope.
Yeah, because obviously, like, I know a lot of them are gonna say, like that it's gonna be slow burning. I'm not exactly like the type of guy who has like thousands of millions of views, but that's not the point of the show.
It's that one view that matters.
Yes.
Like, overall, if you can inspire one person, you did a great job.
That's all you look for.
You know what I'm saying?
That's all you really look for. And
Yeah.
you know, people will find you if you talk to them and say, "Hey, I'm working to do this." You know,
Yeah.
like that's how I got the sponsorship. Thanks again to Craven's
Yes,
Comics
thank
again.
you.
I'm a show off the little thing because
So dope.
I'm glad that they decided to sponsor. So with this sponsorship, they are also doing a giveaway. So
Hey.
just like I said before, just comment down Lucky Pull, and you'll be able to
Yes,
win
comment.
any of those items that are over there, which is
Yes.
which is pretty epic.
It's
So,
real epic, like so dope.
Yeah, I know. Now to jump back because I know a lot of people don't like ad breaks, and they're like,
Oh no, they ain't feeling that. They're like, look, not today,
Yeah.
sir. Like I like this session. Like let's
Yeah,
talk. Let's
so-
talk.
yeah.
We
So I
spending
guess
gems.
going back to it a little bit, because I'm thinking, you know, like it went back to a little bit of another note that I have, you know, being in
Yeah.
a position but having more to offer in that
Yeah.
position type of ordeal. You know, a lot of them like to say, like, I know a lot of them are going to say, well, I'm in school, there's not much for me to offer. One thing I'll say that I did while I was in high school was I was a student,
Okay.
but then because I was really good at video and all the other stuff,
Hey.
broadcasting team started. But
Yes.
before broadcasting team, there was no clubs that I wanted to join. So I created my own little club. The media teacher helped me. That's how I connected with that one teacher that I liked
Hey.
so much.
Yeah.
And then we created an animation club,
That's
which
so dope.
lasted for a good few years while I was in there.
Yeah.
But did disband because I was like,
That's
a little
cool,
hard.
though.
But you know, that's I guess one thing you guys can hopefully think about is that even though you're in a position, there's always something you can do to like
Yeah.
make it lean your way without having to break rules. You know,
Pretty
just kind
much.
of a lot of people don't like to say like leaning into what other people have to say, or just
Yeah.
you know, they like to say that you're just sucking up to this person to get to something.
Yeah.
But sometimes, you know, they get to a better area than
A better
you,
area, yeah.
but they're not like. But I guess a good way to suck up is to use it to be an outlet and then branch off from there. Not
Yeah.
sticking on them. If you
Stick-
stick on them like a leech, then
Yeah.
you're just
Of
you're
course, they
you're
wanna just keep-
no better. Yeah, you're no better than like a gold digger or something because
Yeah.
you know you're basically trying to go off of other people's works. But
Yeah.
it's like, you know, the big city. You have that
Yeah.
5-minute elevator pitch. You got that big CEO. You got to be real quick before he gets to his stop
Pretty much.
to catch him. You know, same with the internet. You
Yeah.
got to be real quick to catch somebody.
You got somebody.
You got to be pretty much really short too.
Yeah.
Get to the point. But jumping back a little bit for the arts, hopefully, like in the last episode, one of the guests, Tally, he said, "Yeah, I know what you're probably saying. You just wish someone had a casual $3 million to spend on like some big,
Yeah,
you know,
right?
facility." And I'm like, "Yeah, it's
It
kinda
would
what
be
is.
dope. Like, imagine doing something real dope, like a skateboard ring, a photography thing, like selfie area. Like, I wish it would be such a because the main thing is just to let them know like what we have here.
Yeah.
Like, come on now, Cambridge has so much history, and we can shine so much light to the past. But why can't we shine more light to the present
in the future."
and the future?
Yeah,
You know what I'm
which
saying?
is-
Especially like honestly, you should actually definitely let them know, comment and voice what they would like to see for Cambridge and
Yeah.
what would they like to see that you also shine light on too, because
Yeah.
their voice matters. Because in the end, that's what this all about.
Yeah, that is kind of what this show is mostly about. But I will say, I guess the biggest, I don't know if the biggest area that I tried to figure out for most talking points was, I think there is the Facebook page, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna say it. I'm not too fluent in Facebook. I know my basic get around
Basic
because, you know, I'm not on that like that. But
Yeah.
I heard from like one of my friends. They were like, "Oh yeah, there's a Cambridge community type Facebook group thing," and I was like, "Oh, okay, I'll try to get on it." But
Yeah.
at least what I searched up, the one that I got, and I'm pretty sure it's the same one because it has the old picture of the packing house. It was
Okay.
private, and I was like, "Well, I guess I can't get in. I guess
Can't
I
be
have to like
public.
send in a thing." Yeah, so I have to.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, I guess making it private does make sense for, I guess, trolls. But I'm like,
Yeah.
I
I mean, that's
don't know how many
that's how it is though. But you know what I'm saying. The main thing is if you don't see it, then you create it.
Yeah.
You know, just create it.
So-
Make it like do it. You know.
Yeah, because I know that there's a lot of projects around here that they're trying to like focus mostly for like maybe like RIR or the food scene around here and the fishing and such. But I'm gonna say it right here, right now. If there was an art center by the water, I'm gonna say it. Everyone would probably be trying to come
That
around
would be
here.
dope. That would be real
Because-
dope.
Sailwinds is like kind of by that lighthouse, and
Yeah.
you know the Hyatt is pretty big around here because of that big view. So if you
Yeah.
have like another one on the other side, but it's for
Yeah.
arts, Game change.
That would be a game
change.
changer.
Yes, that would be
I think we need to
crazy.
get ahead and just make that possible. I think we need to start taking the steps to make that possible.
We can go for it. I don't exactly know where I would start because I'm gonna say it. I'm fresh. I don't know.
But hey,
how
maybe
things
you
work.
started by us. We just collaborated right now, so
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe there's a reason for that.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
Yes.
I'm gonna hope that it works because going a little bit back, a little more into what was I about to say about the arts is that is honestly the biggest way to impact. Because I will say I'm gonna go back a little bit on the teaching front because I have some teacher friends and they complain a lot about how it seems like there's not too much motivation. At least in in one of their fields, that there's not too much motivation for some of the kids. But depending on their age, like if they're in 5th grade or 9th grade, that they'll probably have different views and have experienced different things by then. Which when I think back to 5th grade, the only thing I was glad for was when summer break happened and going to Virginia to see my grandparents. That was probably the only things that I thought about. Like there was not too much. I mean, there was like, what did you want to be when you wanted to grow up? Which was, I wanted to be an engineer at first, if I'm being all honest.
But see, that's where we need to like kind of like change that. Like sometimes we always let the kids know what you want to be when you grow up. But how about what do you want to be right now to get where you need to get at when you grow up? Some people always want to start late in the game. Well, once you graduate, once you go to college, then you can be what you want to be. But how about you young entrepreneurs start now? You little 7-year-old, go ahead and start doing your own soaps and little perfumes and stuff. Like that's the thing is the mentality of the older ones like us that we know that, well, for myself, a lot of stuff had to happen to me in order to get where I'm at right now. But if I had someone to talk to me when I was younger, it would have been probably different choices I would have made. So it's like, that's what we need to go at. We need to inspire the young ones. All right, so you guys, what do you want to be to grow up? But let's start right now. Let's start selling your shirts. Start making your stuff, your art stuff. Like, it's more of the mentality of trying to inspire. That's why I'm with BGC, because it's like, I'm trying to get a hold of these kids to like, all right, I know you guys have this dream for your future, but let's start right now.
Yeah. Which I will say, I know, at least if I was in their shoes and I was hearing that, I would be thinking, you're an adult. You're already living.
Yeah.
You're already living what you want to live. Things might change, which is true to an extent. But it's like you're kind of gonna have to. It'll be a battle. I'll say that much. It'll be a little.
Well, I mean that's true. It's definitely a battle with certain things, but it's all on how you think of it. Like someone can think as it. You can either see it half empty or half full. Yeah. And if you have that mentality always speaking negative when it comes to something or opportunity, that's what you're putting out in the atmosphere. So if you speak like, you know what, it's going to be all right. We're going to do this. It's going to happen. You keep saying it over and over and over again. It's bound to happen.
Yeah.
So it's all on how you think. That's the main thing. It starts with self. And if someone has a doubt, you're putting that out in the atmosphere. So let's start speaking life to what every single thing you do. Everything you're going to have a good day today, that's what you're going to have. So this is more than just arts. It starts with self. You know? Yep.
Yeah, the main thing in order for you to actually make something happen is the body and mind, which hearing that I'm like, oh, that's pretty awesome because that goes way back to the first episode.
Exactly. It all connects.
Being the mindset.
Connects.
It all that's kind of what I hope this show to be, because hopefully when I make my grand stitch together of all the episodes together, hopefully that there's a common theme. I'm already kind of seeing it, which is kind of cool. I'm like, everyone's kind of saying the same things, and hopefully if I get more guests on, or when I get more guests on, that they'll possibly say the same things or say something different, and I'll be like, okay,
that's true.
Like around here, we have a lot of people like to say, that's great, you have this idea.
Yeah.
Do it.
What actions you're taking? What steps are you taking?
Yeah.
It takes one step at a time. Even though we wish that things could happen right away, it's going to take steps. Like, I have so much dreams I want to accomplish, but I already know, all right, man, you got to put that footwork one step at a time. But you got to also give yourself some grace, because we always want everything to happen right away, but great things take time.
Yeah, like real long periods of time. Like when we think, because I'm going to think back to it a little bit, like a lot of us like to think, hey, it'll all just like it'll happen like in 2 days or 3 days. When
Right.
Sometimes it takes like 5 years.
Well,
and
I'm
you're
gonna be
just
a
like, dang.
one-hit wonder on the internet. Like, boom, that's it. I'm gonna be like,
Yeah.
but that's, you know what?
It
Don't
takes-
put yourself. One thing I noticed, a lot of people try to compare everybody, try to have that
Yes.
same type of, no, just love your journey right now where you at right now, because 5 years from now you'll be like, oh man, I remember I was in that studio and I just had this little bit of stuff, and look where I'm at right now because I kept my 1 foot forward.
Just didn't well, I won't say didn't look back, but didn't let the naysayers.
Yeah. Because there's always going to be naysayers. It's
Yeah.
always going to be, no matter how much good you do in life, there's always going to be somebody seeing something wrong with it. But
Yeah.
the main thing is just like, you got to leave that noise out and just keep on focus. Like, that's one thing that, I don't know if you remember, like, if you ever in school, they talk about how horses have like that
Yeah, I remember
thing.
that thing.
That little guard that keeps them focused. Like,
Yeah.
that's what you need to, like, keep your guard up and keep focused. Keep running that race.
Even if it goes a little hard or a little sideways, some things may happen. Like don't let it stop the journey. Like a lot of people were very emotional people. They'll let like certain either family or friend issues kind of get in the way. You might wanna be careful of it sometimes. Basically, what I'm saying, because like I'm very fortunate to know Jason, and then Jason getting me in contact with various other people, and then the people I've met along my way.
That's dope.
It's like I'm like I guess one thing that I tell on this show sometimes is I had my dad for the good portion of my younger years, and then when high school hit, he kind of wasn't there anymore, and then things kind of fluttered. But the reason why I say that was mostly because there were promises that were made to me, and they didn't go through. But I didn't let it stop me. A lot of people will promise you things, and it may not exactly happen.
Exactly.
But you just got to keep it going.
You gotta keep going. Like, it's the same thing, and that's why that's why I gravitate to art, because that's what it is. Like, when we painting on a canvas, it's like we got all these colors all mixed up, and we're thinking, all right, we're painting, and you can't rush a masterpiece. You're gonna have to learn how to masterpiece.
Yeah.
You get me? You know what I'm saying? So it's just more so taking your time with it, and the more you take your time to do details. And I remember there was a time when I have kids, they're like, well, mommy, it's messed up a little bit. Like, nothing's ever messed up. You can always change it and do it from another direction. So no matter where you're going at with the the paintbrush, you can always change it to the direction that you see it from your own vision. So that's the way to think of it.
Didn't think about it like that, because I will say I'm no means an artist, but I can draw a little bit. And
everybody's an artist. I just haven't seen it yet. I promise you, like, I never knew how to paint ever, but you would never known it.
Yeah. That's the interesting part about it at the end of the day, because thinking back on it, about the impact on the youth that you would have, like you said, you didn't exactly know how to paint. I'm curious, what did get you started on that painting?
Okay, so this is what I used to draw a lot when I was little, like little doodles when I wasn't paying attention in class. Like, oh god, it's boring, so I would just start doing doodles. But when I started going through some dark times of my life, and this is back in 2015, this is not too long ago, and I went through some dark stuff between divorce and a lot of pain, and I actually went through depression. So I was like, what could I do? And something told me, Miriam, just start creating, just start painting your emotions. Everybody wants to act like everything's all good and dandy.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be the first one to tell you, like, no, my life was a mess. And art saved my life. And I pretty much decided to use art as a therapy form for myself, and started drawing, and I started painting. And then I started sharing it on social media, on Instagram. And everybody was like, Miriam, you could really paint. And I was like, I just started it. I don't know like what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. Whatever I feel, whatever I see, I'll just do it. And I started realizing my skills getting better and better. And I realized the more I started investing in myself, the more my craft got better. So that's where we gotta always remember, like, in order for us to get better in our craft, we gotta invest in it. The time.
I can really feel that one, because I do remember a small little thing about in the world of video editing. I know a lot of people might just say you're just dragging clips in and such as like that. It's a lot harder.
It's a lot harder.
Yeah,
I've seen it from others. And I'm like, wow.
I was gonna say pretty sure normal movie productions probably have like a good forever lines of
Yeah.
Foley and all this. I know there's a lot of technical stuff, but it's, when I did my first edit, I was like, oh, this sounds pretty cool.
Yeah.
And I didn't know exactly how to like do everything. And then as I slowly started adding things and doing more, it just started becoming like, wow,
Yeah.
I did not realize all the work that's put into things, which
That's
is
true.
kind of crazy. I know I don't exactly know where I was gonna go off with that one, but I guess being the inspiration was, say it was my dad, because he
Yeah.
was in the military. He traveled a lot. He always brought back
Yeah.
different things because because I remember wanting to be an engineer for the longest time. He brought back some the Adobe suite. This was a long-ish
that's
time ago,
Okay.
and I was trying to work on
Adobe.
it. Yeah, I was working on it a little bit, and I said, I hate it. I don't like it. There's no point to this. Like, I don't get
Yeah.
it. And then I just threw it out. Same with guitar. I said, I hate it, and
What?
threw it out.
I always wanted to play the guitar.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Later on, that's where I say the metal influence came in, because
Ooh.
I play a lot of metal. And then later on, I was like, I'm bored. Let's think back on what my dad was telling me about. Hey, you could do something great with this, and I'm like, I don't know, I don't like it. But
He's like, nah, not right now.
yeah, came back about because he brought that back. I was like 9, hated it for
Yeah.
like ever, because I was like, good lord, I am not good at this whatsoever. So I
Yeah.
dropped it for about a good few years. Came back at it when I was like 12, and then I was like, it's pretty easy.
It's
Get
pretty
to-
easy. See, but to see how that goes, like something that you don't think you could do.
Yeah,
It's fair. You
which-
just gotta like invest a little bit.
Yeah, so I guess
Yeah.
my main point with me saying that is, just because you didn't like it the first time doesn't mean you can't try it again.
That's facts.
Yeah,
I
'cause-
definitely agree with you with that one.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I'm still learning how to continue to video edit and do play guitar to this day, and I can play pretty decently,
That's
pretty
dope.
decently. And then in terms of video editing, I can still do some. I can do some
Yeah.
pretty epic things. Now I understand how to do. Well, this is about to get a little technical talk. It's Blender and Adobe After Effects,
That's
all the
dope.
bigger
All
things.
creative
So I'm
stuff.
getting to, like I like to say, I can do those effects like in the Marvel movies. That's kind of
Ooh,
where the
wow.
steps I'm at right now.
See,
yeah.
cause see that right there is art. Like all of
Yeah.
that, what you just said, guitar, art,
Yeah.
video, art. Like all that stuff comes together, and that's where that's where we need to like take those steps, because honestly, that is what we need more programs of out here. And it's not even just programs, just have opportunities. Like everybody's
Yeah.
always trying to politically put it together. Like, oh, we'll have this program here and that.
Yeah.
Like, no, how about we just have an open house with open opportunities for these kids and for everybody, teens, college students, everybody, adults, even the older adults
Yeah.
that, they've been in their younger time, play the guitar. And it's like just to have that here and have everyone kind of like have the
Yeah.
opportunity. That would be dope.
like a nice little like that, I guess, vision of it, that big building where everyone can just
Yeah.
kind of go in, do their thing. Like, it's just an open
Yes.
space.
Open space.
Like
Open.
and it being out in the open too. Hopefully
Yes.
somewhere that everyone can access, because I
That
know.
would be great.
Yes, because I will say, because this area here, it's small. Anybody
Yeah.
can get anywhere. There is
Yeah.
no. It's not like the city where it's like you're probably taking
You're
like
private, yeah.
3 buses
I
and a metro
know.
ride.
It's like but the thing is, it's possible.
Yeah.
I believe it is. Just seeing how they invest in a lot of stuff out here, I'm like, it's possible to invest in this
Yeah.
type. The alt culture needs to be invested, because we have our future musicians, we have our future, movie producers, and I mean, it's just amazing, like how this all forms together, and we just got to be the one to like shine light on it. So
Yeah,
it's dope.
that's all it is. That's the easiest part, is just shining a light on it. Because it's like you think about it. A lot of kids, they're probably doing their craft every single day. They're just thinking it's not going to get anywhere, and
Yep.
just that's where they post it to the internet, and
Yeah.
that's where that little light sometimes gets shined on, or
Yeah.
like they go
They
to a
get
school
seen.
thing. Yeah, they
They
do a
get
school
seen.
thing.
That's why
Yeah.
they're doing it, because they're getting seen, and that's why
Yeah.
everybody gravitates to the internet, because they know they're gonna be seen, and that's where we need it. Like that's what Cambridge, like I look forward to, is that they are able to start having platforms for everybody to be seen.
Yeah, which is the best part about it, and hopefully, like I'm gonna say, hopefully can even like grow it to be better, instead of like I guess in my last episode, one of the kid, his name was Jakai, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I'm saying your name properly, and because he was saying, like, and he's in high school, so he's probably been feeling this type of way for a while now. But he said like all of it's being reinvested into like restaurants and stuff we already have here, and not exactly bringing up things that we don't already have. Like, you know, the reason why people say people are going to California or New York or all these other areas is because it has everything.
Investors though.
Investors
That's
too.
what it is. And that is where like we need to start, like this right here, just sharing that and what he said. That is true, and that's important, because if he feels like that, what makes you? There must be other kids that feel the same way. And the main thing is that we start creating opportunities for these kids and these teens and these people coming out of high school, because in the end, that's the truth. Everybody is quick to, gotta go to college. That's the only way that you're going to achieve. I mean, I give respect to all those who are graduates. I mean, I have so much respect for that.
Yeah.
But I also have respect for these entrepreneurs out here before they even get to college, that they're trying their best to try to start their app platform.
Because, like everything's in a balance. You can't have every single kid leave high school and go to college, because that'd leave things in an economic standstill possibly if certain things like happen, because you need some people who need to stay back, help out with certain things, or people who go out to bring things here, because it's all a balance. It shouldn't feel like you have to, because I know a lot of at least while I was in school, the mindset was you have to make a resume, you have to do this, you have to do that. But like me coming here, I did have I had to sign a paper, but I was the only name on the sheet. So the story I'll tell how I came here is that I was told by a teacher who said, "Hey, you should do the station." I said, "Oh, okay." I was the only name to be on that paper, and like I came in through the doors, like I'm gonna say it. It was kind of it wasn't that grand, but it was like I walked in, I didn't know what was going on. Doug, the first person to ever greet me, I was like, hi. It was awkward because I didn't know exactly what I was gonna say.
It was like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You're like, what's up, kid?
So because he even looked, I mean, I'm not gonna say he looked confused, but I told him my business. It was kind of like awkward. We didn't like know each other. It was like, is this kid good? Is this kid bad? Type deal. Because I'm gonna say it. I do take into consideration when I walk into certain areas, my skin color.
Yeah, of course.
It's not, like a lot of people will say, it isn't that, and I'm like, it's cool, you don't have to like acknowledge it or anything, but I do keep it intact, keep it thinking, because like people have a certain thought process about how probably I'm gonna think or how I'm gonna talk.
Yeah, how you're gonna talk, how your swag is.
Yeah,
they're like, dang, he's real sophisticated. Like, but
so it's like then I talk to them. Because then I started talking to them about how my skills, because I remember me trying to just impress them with my skills, what I could bring to the table. It wasn't me saying, I'm doing this for credit. It was like, I have an interest in this, and I was telling them this, and this, and this. And I remember Mike, who was the old station manager, his face looking at me just like, this kid might have some skill. We may give him a little try. And they said, all right, you're on. Come on to one of the little trainings they had, and then I went and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I helped out people who were doing things while they were teaching, and I'm pretty sure he noticed that, and he was like, okay, you are doing some things. And he started testing me a little more, continue doing things. Sure, it wasn't like a perfect ride. It wasn't like me being 100 like
still,
every time,
but that's your authentic self being shown, and right there that shows you have the skill. And that's where the respect comes in. Like, you guys can, whoever, people gonna judge, or they don't know your walk of life, and also the color of your skin. That's just reality. They see me like, oh, look at that Spanish girl. Like, why is she, doing this and doing that?
Yeah.
But they don't know my story and why I'm so passionate and what I create. So that's the main thing, is the importance of never changing who you are, but showing what you about.
Yes, that I can always get down with, and I'll always, always say that's just what people need to do, in my opinion, around here. Because that's just, what it's about, if I'm being honest. Like, we think about it, and it's, I know I'm trying to get my thoughts together on this, but a lot of us like to say that, well, it's not going to happen because there's a certain type of people there, or there's a certain type of thought. But it's like, if you assimilate with it sometimes, you could get it. You can get the gig. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. It's
take a chance. Take a chance on you. It's not about them or what people are going to say or think. Take a chance on you. That way you know, look, I did try. And I did.
Yeah.
No matter where I'm at, I'm still going to try no matter where. Because in the end, this is my gift. And that's the connection that I can share my gift. So
Yeah,
that's
which
all that
is, you
matters.
know, the best part about it. And I will say probably the best part about being here is because it is so small. And,
Yeah.
like, I came out, I was out, and, you know, like I said, I was the only name on that list.
Yeah.
And where I'm at now, like, I don't know where I would be right now if I never put my name on that list.
Exactly.
Because, you know, now I have, like, it became, like, I started getting more options, more things that happen. Like, now I'm able to use this space for, you know, these types of videos
Yeah.
and interviews and such as like
And
that.
that's dope.
It
It's
was,
a dope atmosphere. Like,
yeah,
seriously.
it's not me saying, well, like, you know, there is no no stigma for if people want to start things like this up in their room.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, another point I would like to say, ask for help sometimes.
Yes.
It's, you know, not as hard as people
Yes.
think. Because, you know, I could do this in my room,
Yeah.
but I'm going to say it, there's not enough space. And my family's
Exactly.
there.
Exactly.
So,
you definitely need that privacy. Like, I need my little space. You
Yeah.
don't want to be hearing somebody in the background like, go get me something. Like,
yeah, basically, which is, you know, I guess the YouTube conundrum for when you're young. 'Cause then
Yeah.
it's like you're recording and all of a sudden you hear your mom calling your name down
Yeah.
to get you, and you're just like, oh, dang.
Yeah.
And it's
But
it's awkward, but
I'm glad to hear that, though, because it really can inspire someone else that, you know, I know sometimes we will always want to be in that box. Well, I can only do this around certain people, or I can only do this over here. But maybe if you take a chance without, you know, prejudging, someone could also give a chance to you. Sometimes we got to, like, do things in unity and think from a love, you know, type of point of view in your mind. Because in the end, it's all about your gifts and making sure that you share it. And it shouldn't matter who is with, as long as you know you walking in your purpose.
yeah, that's really all it is. Like I'm gonna say it. It is, you know, awesome that, you know, got to meet you, because,
That's
you
what's
know,
up.
I'm
So dope.
still, you know, figuring things out, and hopefully we can continue to maybe collab on things, or if you think I can help you out with something. Yeah.
No, hopefully we will. We're gonna start changing the
Yes.
hopefully to the will. We
will,
are
yeah.
going to collab. We don't win, but we going to.
Yes, yeah, that's the you know that's the interesting part about it,
Yes.
because I will say, as I started growing, this is mostly for anybody who just kind of is wondering. It's kind of like I'll keep saying, it's like, you know, when you ask someone to be in a relationship, you don't know what's gonna happen.
Nope.
Worst they can say is no, and it's like
Take a chance.
you just do it, and it's
You
kind
gotta
of
take a chance.
yeah. That's what makes it. That's what the staggering part is, because, you know,
Yeah.
you think of the stigmas they may have, or what the pre-notions of you, but it's like
Yeah.
you don't know until you do.
You gotta try it. But in the end, like, I used to always tell people, like, we all know, like, in life we're gonna sometimes fall. We don't know when we're gonna fall, but no matter what, we're gonna get back up again.
Yeah.
So just take that chance. So that way you don't have to keep going in life like, man, what if I don't want to regret life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or taking chances. So
Yeah.
just do it. So whatever in your
That's-
mind and heart wants to do it, do it.
That's just how that works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because thinking back on it, that's why I want to go back to the art center.
Yes.
You know, this is hope. Don't go regretting, because, you know,
Yeah.
I hear about how there's certain projects that are probably gonna go to sale wins that people aren't really agreeing on, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that doesn't sound very good
Yeah,
so far,
sure.
because, you know, like, everyone's in their own little echo chambers, I like to say. You
Yeah.
know, we're all in our own little bubbles. Like,
Yeah.
I was talking to some friends, and I was talking to them, and I'm like, I was talking to them about, like, an idea I had, and they were like, oh yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then I said, you should continue doing, like, my death metal stuff. And I'm like, yeah, that's crazy, but in my
Yeah.
sphere, that's like normal.
That's normal.
Yeah, because it's like, you know, everyone kind of listens to it, and it's, you know, it's kind of like, you know, like if you were to tell someone about rap, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, isn't that new and hip? It's like, yeah, it's a form of art.
It's a form of art. Like,
Yeah, it's
I
not
mean,
exactly new and
it's
hip.
not new and hip. I mean, I've been around that since it was back in New York when it all
Yeah.
started, you know. So it's like, in the end, it's like, you know, some people are going to not know, but in the end, like, you know.
Yeah,
And
like,
that's what matters.
that's about all it is. Because now
Yeah.
because I'm gonna say it, we're at the stage personally where information's everywhere,
Yes.
and, you know, the ancestors, the people before us fought for us to be in this position. Because I'm gonna say it,
Yes.
because
Speak it.
thinking about it, it's like, you know, what if that didn't happen?
Exactly.
Like we
Exactly.
could probably, like, it could be at a point where it's like a lot of, like, I'm gonna say it, you know, I know somebody who's just really heavily
Yeah.
on education, and
education.
I can kind of get where they're coming from,
Yeah.
because at the point in time that they were growing up, it was like internet wasn't exactly the biggest thing.
Exactly.
It started popping off as in their adult life, and I'm like,
Yeah.
huh, that is something. But then I'm thinking about my time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
the internet was here all my life. And the first time I ever made money was when I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
I did a commission for some guy in Germany.
Wow, that's dope.
Well, the reason why I say this is because, nobody can really because it was kind of just like me talking to this random guy.
Yeah.
My dad was in on it, so that was good.
Yeah.
So it was like, and he was inspiring me. He was like saying, yeah, you should probably continue doing that sort of stuff.
Got to.
Yeah, because it's easy, it's not as hard as
As
way
people
back.
think. Sometimes people overthink. Like they
Yeah.
overthink the gift. Like, all right, should I do this? It's not gonna be. I mean, nothing's gonna come easy. That's a
Yeah.
fact. But in the end, like, just take the step. As long as you're taking a step, whether it be, what day of the week you're doing it, just do it.
That's
the
it.
closer you get to your dream.
Yeah, that's just about it. That's just how it works. And I guess my main thing hopefully is that if people were to watch this back, and if I was to watch this back, hopefully I'm in a better space, and hopefully this community as a whole is in a better space. And I guess for this little, because I'm looking at the time and I'm like, we are running a little bit, but I'm like, I'm enjoying the conversation, so we can continue. We'll continue going just a little. I don't know if I can say a little longer. We'll see how I'm feeling, but I wanted to mainly say this. Like, I don't want to give a little bit of a challenge, see how far we can get this video to go.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try sharing it to people that I know, and then hopefully you share it to people you know.
Of course.
And then we try to get it to be seen by whoever the heck is running
whoever's
the planning.
meant to see it.
Yeah. Whoever's running the planning, because I would like them to see like this idea of the arts, because they're currently banking on one thing. It's like having a golden egg. You're banking on that one egg.
Egg.
What happens if that egg goes away?
Exactly.
We're seeing some examples of
different
that happening.
Yeah. That's one thing, is to have different, it's not just one thing you have, and everybody thinks, well, this is the only thing I can do, but honestly, you don't know what else you're good at too.
Yeah.
So the main thing is to make sure you kind of gravitate to all your gifts and just keep practicing, keep doing something that's going to be for you,
which makes sense. It's kind of what hopefully people can get out of this show. So I am looking at time, and I do want to be respectful of my time.
Yes.
So
and there'll be more time to collab.
Yes, more time later. So so hopefully, thanks again for peeps that tune in and for checking out the video. Yes, and checking out this video. So obviously this will be, on YouTube, and remember, subscribe, whatever, all that other stuff. But and remember that that's thanks again to Craven's Comics for sponsoring this show.
So,
remember, comment Lucky Poll and you will win all of not all, but some of that stuff possibly over there. So that's that's the main gist of it.
That's dope. It was dope to be a part of this. I appreciate you for inviting me, and I can't wait to look. I look forward to what's gonna come. And don't forget, if you guys want to get to know more of my creative gifts, go ahead and check me out on Artist Miri Moran on Instagram, or you can go to my website, myartistmirimoran.com. And then, as well as if you want to purchase any of my merch that I have done and collaborating with Deadstock, definitely call them up. Just go ahead and Google the number, and you'll see Deadstock Salisbury or Ocean City outlets. So I'm glad to be here.
So that's that, and we'll just end the stream there. Thanks again for tuning in.